Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and today is the day Season 5 for Black Ops 6 has been officially announced. It's been officially revealed, and man, does it look bad. I've got to be honest, given how Call of Duty has gone this year, it doesn't surprise me whatsoever that they're deciding just to go out with a whimper as compared to going out with a bang, because I honestly don't think we're even going to see a Season 6 the way things are shaping up and what they decided to do with Season 5. We're talking map remakes, we're talking gun remakes, we're talking no less than 5 new events that are mostly just going to be filled with crossovers. It's really just more of the same, and it really goes to prove the point that I was making a while ago, which is Activision have given up. Treyarch have given up. They have set Black Ops 6 on cruise control 10 miles under the speed limit, and they're just hoping that it doesn't crash before it gets to the end of the road. I really don't see a reality where this upcoming season is not a complete disaster, and on top of that, we also have some interesting news when it comes to the Call of Duty HQ to go over, as well as a couple of other things. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's just go ahead and jump into what's coming to the game with the next update. So first things first, the new weapons, right? Everyone's always excited for new guns. Well, nothing quite sets my excitement meter off quite like having a new light machine gun in the game. In particular, the freaking SAW. You know, the same LMG that's been in countless Call of Duty games, the same LMG that was a default class back in Call of Duty 4 18 freaking years ago. I don't know if Treyarch and Activision are aware, but literally nobody uses or likes light machine guns in the current Call of Duty games. I mean, if we go back to a game like COD World War II, sure, they're actually good there, they're actually viable, but with the movement in this game and the matchmaking in this game, the only time people actually use these guns is when they're just dicking around or if they're trying to get dark matter. Light machine guns are literally just a speed bump on the camo grind that nobody enjoys, and here we are with the SAW returning for the umpteenth time here within the Call of Duty franchise. The second weapon is a bit more interesting in that it's the ABR. It's pretty much the exact same 3-round burst ABR from Black Ops 4, except this time around there's also going to be a fire mod that allows it to become full auto, so it's going to feel a bit more like the AUG from the original Black Ops. I'm lukewarm on this one, honestly. I mean, it's a remake, given, but at least it's much more interesting than adding in something like the freaking SAW light machine gun. Finally, and this is honestly pretty hilarious to me, we have the Gravemark 357 revolver. By my count, ladies and gentlemen, since this will be a mid-season reward, this means they really made fans wait nearly 10 months for them to add in a freaking revolver into a Black Ops game. If that's not drip-feeding content, then I don't know what is, and honestly, there is nothing really exciting here. I suppose there are the boxing gloves, but they're just a melee weapon, which have already been in Call of Duty in the past, by the way, so aside from funny moments YouTubers making clips trying to challenge other players to fight them, I don't see them really being used whatsoever, so just overall, the weapons are a big disappointment. Next up, let's go ahead and talk about the Black Ops 6 Season 5 multiplayer maps. What do you guys reckon is the over-under on remakes this time around? If you guessed that half the maps would be remakes, then ding ding ding, you would be absolutely correct. The first map on the agenda is Runway. They claim this is a new map, and the layout does appear to be unique, but appearance-wise, it bears a striking resemblance to the airport area of the Al Mazrah map from Modern Warfare 3. That map was used in Ground War for multiplayer, and then of course Warzone, and I can't help but feel like I'm looking at it once again here with Black Ops 6. Next up, we have the Faceoff Map Exchange, which is set in a marketplace in Avalon because freaking everything has to be on Avalon, more on that later, but ultimately, this is a Faceoff map, and I do feel like, to Treyarch's credit here, I feel like 90% of the remaining players on Black Ops 6 are probably just mindlessly grinding Faceoff, so honestly, it does make a lot of sense for them just to keep churning these things out. Think about it, man. You don't need to try, you don't need to be creative, you just make a map that is roughly between Shipment and Nuketown in size, don't even bother trying to balance the spawns, and then fans will just eat it up and then ask you for seconds. I feel like I can do an entire video about how this stuff is ruining Call of Duty, man. I mean, they designed the game's grinds to take ages, and with skill-based matchmaking plaguing the regular game, the only respite players have is to focus on doing challenges. In doing that, they can at least attempt to try to ignore how broken the game is because they have that carrot on a stick to help keep them playing. Well, because players are so focused on challenges instead of enjoying the actual game because Activision won't let them enjoy the actual game, well, what do? They of course choose the path of least resistance. They jump into Nuketown, and the Shipment, and the Shoot House, or Face-Off. It's gone by many different names, but it's all the same damn thing, man. It's junk food COD. It's just spawn die, spawn die, spawn die. No skill, no control, no semblance of creativity or proper multiplayer balance. These maps are just meat grinders. They're a place where people mindlessly complete challenges, not too unlike cattle when they're being let out to graze before Activision takes them to the slaughterhouse. In this case, the slaughterhouse is the game deleting all your progress and making you re-earn everything when the next title comes out. Because fans are so burnt out on skill-based matchmaking and they just want to take the path of least resistance, they don't care to play the actual game on the actual multiplayer maps, and what has happened is we have inadvertently created a scenario where Call of Duty just keeps getting worse. Skill-based matchmaking isn't going to change because people are just in Faceoff where it doesn't matter nearly as much. Multiplayer maps are fewer and further in between because they have to make room for Faceoff on their release schedule for each new season, and then Faceoff maps themselves are like 1/5 the size of a normal map. They require like 1/10 the effort from the developers, and they are allowed to be bad because they're just meat grinders. Just spawning and dying over and over is expected, so nobody cares. And people always have said that Warzone killed Call of Duty, and if that's true, then Faceoff is just pissing on the corpse at this point, because the actual game with the regular sized multiplayer maps and the normal game modes like Team Deathmatch, Free For All, Dom, Search and Destroy, Hardpoint, all of those modes are being abandoned so people can just mindlessly grind on the 29th reincarnation of Shipment. I honestly hate this shit, man, and what it's done to the franchise. I told you I could do an entire video on this topic, and maybe I will, but for right now, let's move on and let's finish the rest of the Season 5 maps. When it comes to the mid-season and post-launch maps for Season 5, we have WMD, yet again, because we haven't seen that map nearly enough, but this time around, it's set on Avalon, because everything in the freaking game has to be set on Avalon. You guys know that Warzone map that they had to cut from the game because it was failing so miserably? Yeah, WMD was going to be a part of that, and as a result of WMD being on that stupid map, this has to be, genuinely, almost objectively, the ugliest version of WMD to date. It does not even look like the original map anymore. It doesn't capture that same vibe whatsoever. It's just freaking brown and boring and generic. It's like the multiplayer map equivalent of Kevin Hart. Yes, I'm still upset they cast him to play Roland in the Borderlands movie. The final map here is going to be Jackpot, which is literally just Casino from Black Ops 4, also set on Avalon, a freaking course with a few changes to it, right? They had the devs go in and change a couple of things about the map's layout, and don't think for a second that those changes were made to make the multiplayer experience better. Those changes were made so that Casino would work better as a POI within Warzone on the map Avalon, so they just basically copy and pasted it from the Avalon map and put it into the game's multiplayer. If you guys are counting, that means that Season 5 is going to have one original full-sized map being added to the game, along with 2 remakes and another Face-Off slot map. It's honestly just really embarrassing. With the multiplayer maps and the guns out of the way, let's quickly cover everything else. The final Zombies map is going to be coming to the game, which is going to be called Reckoning, which will come complete with a brand new wonder weapon and everything else. Like, I do think that Zombies has hard carried this game this year for a lot of fans, but for me personally, we're so far into the game now, and with Black Ops 7 coming out, the new Battlefield and everything, I honestly just don't care about this map. I really don't. Like, I really enjoyed the launch maps of Black Ops 6, and I especially enjoyed Citadel. I think Citadel is one of my favorite Zombies maps of all time. But after that, and maybe I'm the crazy odd man out here, but after that, I just got bored with zombies in this game, man. Like, the Tomb was really freaking bad. I did not like the Tomb whatsoever. I barely played the more recent map, and this one here, I just don't really seem to care. And maybe that's just me. It's not a knock against zombies as a whole, because objectively, I think it's been pretty good this year. I just think I'm completely checked out on Black Ops 6, and no zombies map is going to bring me back or get me excited or anything like that. Getting back to the multiplayer here for a second, they're adding in a quote-unquote new score streak called the Crossbow. That's pretty freaking original, right? We've never seen one of these before. And then from there, we also have a bunch of events that are going to be coming. Just looking at the blog post here, man, we have the 90s Action Heroes event, which just means yet more crossovers and grinding XP to unlock the boxing gloves, which were a melee weapon in previous Call of Duty games. From there, we have Hellride, and this is going to be how we get the new revolver, but it's likely just going to be about getting XP as well before the quote-unquote bomb explodes at the end. The end, of course, just being when the event ends. So they're basically like, oh man, you guys gotta hurry up and finish this event. There's a bomb that's gonna be going off, when in reality, just get XP and you'll be fine. It's nothing new. It's nothing original. From there, we have the Atomic Block Party event, which is just a Nuketown event. This entire freaking game is about Nuketown and Face-Off anymore. And then we have the Zombies Leaderboard event, which is the same thing that we just finished up here with this last season, except it's going to be on the new map. Like, do you guys see what I'm saying here? Like, it's literally always just the same stuff recycled over and over. Hell, the only thing happening to Warzone with this update is they're going to be opening the roof to Stadium the same way they did like 5 years ago. I think it's pretty clear that Activision and Treyarch have this game on cruise control, man. Like, nothing new is coming, nothing exciting is going to be happening. It's just remaking a bunch of content, and most of that content probably has been finished for like 6 months or so. They probably could have added most of this stuff to the game like 6 months ago, but instead of doing that, they're just drip feeding it to us and calling it brand new things for us to do when it's all just remakes, it's all rehashes. It's freaking lame, man. I know I'm not the only person that feels this way. With all the Season 5 content out of the way, let's wrap up this video with some other Call of Duty news. One of the more interesting things here is, as of today, Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, the newer ones, are officially removed from the Call of Duty HQ. This means they are now separate games with separate downloads, and when Season 5 goes live, it's going to remove the excess files from the Call of Duty HQ to save hard drive space. I think in the long term, this is going to be really interesting because we're finally going to be able to see just how much those two games were propping up Call of Duty when it comes to player count. As of today, which the update's been live for maybe 8 hours or so at the time this video being recorded, Call of Duty on Steam has not yet reached the peak player count that it got yesterday. Like, already those player numbers are starting to fall off, and I imagine it's only going to go further down from there. And it's also possible, I suppose, that tracking websites like Circana and then of course Steam charts and everything, maybe it's possible that they're not going to have the accurate Call of Duty HQ numbers until the update properly goes through with Season 5, so we're just gonna have to wait and see how all of that plays out, and of course I will keep you guys informed. Now, something else that's pretty interesting is that Warzone tournament, right? Do you guys remember that? They had that like $1 million World Series of Warzone tournament, and part of that they had an open qualifier, which was filled to the brim with hackers and cheaters. Just, it was really embarrassing. Like, it made Call of Duty look really freaking bad. Well, the final for that tournament has been officially announced. It's going to be happening on October 1st, and it's going to be a secluded, like, closed event, essentially. It's going to take place over one day, and there will be no crowd, there's going to be no nothing, and nobody's excited for that, man. Like, they're basically just, from the outside looking in, it seems like they're pulling the plug on competitive Warzone because the cheaters have just straight up won, and they don't appear to have any interest in continuing to try to make Warzone grow as a proper esport. Now, something interesting that happened, however, is with Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 being removed from the Call of Duty HQ, something about that move allowed for Sledgehammer Games to go in and give Modern Warfare 3 one final update, in which they decided to nerf the Reclaimer shotguns and the Rival 9 conversion kit. I know a lot of Modern Warfare 3 players are going to be happy that those shotguns are finally nerfed, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this video here today. I mean, what more do we need to say? Like, Season 5 for Black Ops 6, it can't possibly be worse than Season 4 or Season 4 Reloaded, right? Well, if I know the new Treyarch, which I think I freaking do, and then of course Activision, I'm sure they're going to find some way to make the update even worse somehow, and I of course will keep you guys posted as we learn more. I remember somebody in the comments, actually I remember a lot of you guys saying this in the comments, people saying that following Call of Duty news and hearing about all the bad choices that they make is way more fun than playing the actual game, and I think that's never been more true than it has been with the post-launch support of Black Ops 6. It's been really freaking bad, but regardless, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video here today. Leave your thoughts and feedback down there in the comments. Be sure to sub to the channel if you guys are new around here. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.